A lot of people ask me, do I have ROCD? And while I could never say for sure over a video, these are the 4 signs I look for in the room with someone. If all 4 are there, it's almost always ROCD. By the way, I'm Cameron. I'm a licensed therapist who specializes in ROCD. Here's the first sign I look for. Is this person afraid that they're making a mistake by staying in their relationship? Maybe they're worried they're not compatible enough, or that their anxiety is a warning sign to leave. The list of specific fears is endless. I'm afraid I'm not really in love. I'm afraid I'm in denial and need to break up. Just remember, it all boils down to, am I making a mistake? And is my doubt and anxiety a warning sign to leave? Now, if you want to see the full list, you can click on it in the link below. It's called the ROCD Self-Assessment Checklist. Some people have said just reading this list gives them relief, like, oh my God, I'm not alone. It's totally free, and again, you can find it in the link below. Here's the important thing. There are plenty of people who don't know if they're in the right relationship. They don't know if they're going to stay or not, but they're not afraid about that. It's just something that they're keeping an eye on throughout the relationship. There's an attitude of, I don't know yet, but we'll see what happens. I'm sure I'll figure it out. But for someone with ROCD, there's both a fear that they're in the wrong relationship, and there's an urgency that they feel, an urgency about figuring that out. Like, I have to figure this out, and I have to figure it out soon, because until I do, I can't go forward in my relationship. And we see this so often with people with ROCD. It's like they've put their relationship on pause until they figure out whether they should stay or leave. And again, for people who don't have ROCD and don't know if they're in the right relationship, they can still be in the relationship. They can enjoy it, they can be present. They're not stuck in their head trying to figure it out. And that's the second sign of ROCD. The person starts doing all kinds of things that they wouldn't normally do to try to figure out if they're in the right relationship. They're Googling things like, is my anxiety a warning sign to leave? Or how do you know if you're really right for each other? They're not doing these things out of genuine curiosity. They're acting on that urgency that we talked about before. There's this sense of, I have to figure it out. This cannot wait. Another way to say this, and it's funny, I'd never said this until writing this video, they're trying to rush the answer. I say this to my clients all the time. The answer will come when it comes. Most of the people I've worked with who have done the work of overcoming ROCD, they do have more clarity about being in the right relationship, but it can't be forced. It can't be rushed. And instead of waiting for it and giving it space to show up, people with ROCD try to rush it. They do things like searching their fears on Google as if that would give them the answer. They'll monitor how attracted or in love they feel when they're with their partner, as if that would give them the evidence of being in the right relationship. And look, I say this as someone who struggled with relationship anxiety. I remember doing these things myself. It's like you do it out of urgency because you're very afraid and you feel desperate. You feel like you have to come up with an answer. So there's no blame or shame in this. It's important to name the urgency and the way that people with ROCD or relationship anxiety start acting very differently when they're under the influence of that urgency. All these ways of trying to figure it out are unique to ROCD. We call them compulsions, and they're things that people who don't have ROCD don't really do. And this is really important. Notice how when you do these things, are you doing them out of this like open, genuine curiosity, or are you on the hunt? Are you like, I gotta find it? When you see that kind of like tight, constricted, I have to have an answer, that is like classic sign of ROCD. The third sign of ROCD is spending hours in your head looking for an answer. It's like you've got this math problem in your head that you're trying to solve. Like, if I just think about this in the right way, if I come at it from the right angle, if I get the pieces in the right place, I'll finally figure it out. This is overthinking, plain and simple. It feels like problem solving, but it's not. It's more like it's like a hamster wheel. It tires you out, you work really hard, but you don't actually get anywhere. So when I'm in the room with someone and I start to get a sense of like, wow, this person, they're spending more time in their head than in their relationship, that's a huge signal to me of like, okay, this person is stuck overthinking. And that usually goes with ROCD. Now, the problem with overthinking is the more you overthink, the less contact you have with reality. And the less contact you have with reality, the more distorted or warped your thinking will become. And that's why people with ROCD feel so confused. They've gone down this rabbit hole of endless thinking, hunting for an answer. And it usually has nothing to do with what's actually going on in reality. It's more like this chain of what if thoughts that just keep leading to another thought and another thought and another thought. Overthinking is the number one compulsion in ROCD. And that's why it's the main thing we work on in recovery. Helping people stop looping in their heads and get back into reality, back into their relationship. It's also the focus of my online course, Choosing Love, How to Find Peace from ROCD. My course is built on proven methods like ACT and ERP, approaches that actually work, not just in theory, but in the lives of people I work with every day. If you're ready to stop suffering and start recovering, go to the description below and click on the link to the course. The last sign of ROCD is when a person is no longer living their values as a partner. When someone is struggling with ROCD, they're not acting as the kind of partner they want to be. If you were to ask this person, how do you want to show up in your relationship? No one's going to say, I want to do compulsions. They say things like, I want to be present. I want to be loving. I want to be supportive. Whatever's true for you, that's what we mean by values. These are heart-based qualities that people with ROCD so easily lose touch with. So when I'm in the room with someone who's just starting their recovery and they're talking to me about their fears and their doubts and the things they do to try to answer those fears and doubts, I start thinking, wait, there's this whole part of this person's life which is missing from the conversation, which is, how do they want to show up as a partner? Like, what's important to them? And I can only presume it's there, but that they've lost touch with it, so I don't see it because they're not leading with it. It's like a whole other side to this person is missing. It's covered up by ROCD. I can't see it, but I can feel it's there. Like, this person's probably a really good partner, but they're so caught up in the ROCD that they've lost touch with it. And this is really important. Recovery from ROCD is about reconnecting to that part of yourself that operates outside of fear and more from the heart. So to recap, 1, there's lots of fear, doubt, and urgency. 2, all the compulsions, the things the person does to try to solve the uncertainty. 3, all the time they spend stuck in their head, which is time that they're disconnected from their relationship. And with that comes, number 4, a disconnection from their values, the way of showing up in their relationship that's important to them. When I see all 4 of those, I'm like, okay, this person is stuck in the ROCD loop and they need help getting out. That's what I help people with in therapy. It's the whole reason I created the online course. And here's the thing, it's so possible to recover, to get unstuck. You just need the right approach. Whatever approach you choose, therapy, a course, whatever, find one that works for you and follow it. If what I've said resonates with you, go to the description below and check out my online course, Choosing Love, How to Find Peace from ROCD. This course is for people who are ready to learn new tools and put them to use to overcome ROCD. I've heard from so many people who have already found relief from taking it. There's even a free version you can start with to get a sense of whether it's a good fit for you. Again, you can find a link in the description below. Thank you for watching. Thank you for doing this work. I hope this video helps.